say like maybe white to Asian, maybe.
I'm Asian, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. Can we hug?
Sure.
Okay. Hi. How are you?
Good. You're needing a hug.
You do. We get along on a lot of different topics, but I felt that it was something where I could become a really good friend with you.
For the victory lap though. Whoa, whoa. They ain't never seen nothing like this before. Lit the room when I came through the front door. Ask me if I stress overcome, what for? Train in the trees, please pardon my sycamore. Touch burning sands, cross lands and stormy shore seasons in the year, yeah. Ain't no challenge for champions and chain no fear. Yup, the champ is here, switch gears. We keeping haters in the rear.
What's going on, y'all? It's Common Sense, and we are back. As we always do, we got to give introductions. Go ahead on, baby daddy.
All right, see Julius Workout. Check me on Instagram and YouTube. I'm part, on here on the Common Sense podcast, always coming out with new content. So just stay plugged in.
There we go. You know it's your boy, Anime Swag Fitness, Sharpie 90, Big Eye Fashion, Common Sense Podcast, and Common Sense YouTube. Also, new channel Liftish is almost done. In another week, we're going to be dropping our first workout videos. Okay, if you've been lifting for 20 years or you've been lifting for 20 weeks, it's something up there on the channel first. Okay, so stay tuned. All right. So we are actually reacting to this video, which is actually one of my favorite videos on the internet right now. This is the most controversial video probably on the internet right now, which is crazy to say that because Trump's running again. Not playing, but
he did declare that though, right?
Oh yeah, we gonna have so many reaction videos to Trump. I'm so sure. Yeah. Like that motherfucker is good TV. But yeah, so this is actually a video pretty much for fatphobia. If you don't know what fatphobia is, you can probably figure it out from the name. So if you don't like dating fat people or you work out apparently because you don't want to be fat, that makes you fatphobic, right? So yeah, that is what it is, right? So this is a blind date set up. It's a blind date, series of blind dates to set up, right? And yeah, just
and before we get into it, not to get off topic, but I believe phobic means you're scared of something, like you have arachnophobia. So I don't think people who are fatphobic are actually scared of fat people, but
phobia does literally means fear. Yeah, so you're right, absolutely. So fear, like I'm like, okay, so whatever. Yeah, but just watch the video.
So in terms of dating, what is something that is like an automatic deal breaker?
I can be really chatty sometimes, and I've had a lot in my past where people I'll talk about something and then they'll just cut me off. I need someone who will listen to me.
$25 that all this girl talks about is BTS and anime. Nothing wrong with that, but $25, that's all she talks about. That's why people are like, yo, can you please just shut the fuck up? They all look the same. We get it. The BTS army is stronger than ever. Nay Nay is my favorite song by BTS, okay? We get it. Please, can we talk about something else that's in BTS or I will shoot myself in the head? And that goes for anything, really. I'm just making an example out of it, but that could apply to anything. If you talk about X artist or X band, this is like watching a car crash. You don't want to look, but you do want to look at the same time, and you end up looking. So. And
I've had a lot in my past where people I'll talk about something and then they'll just cut me off. I need someone who will listen to me.
What is something that you watch by yourself that's a guilty pleasure that you don't tell anybody?
I watch a lot of anime.
I knew it.
There's no secret there. Yeah, there's no secret there. Yeah.
I watch a lot of anime. I watch a lot of Asian shows like Korean dramas.
What is your type?
I'm definitely very into Asian men. It's not like a deal breaker or anything.
What race do you think I am?
I have no idea.
So she has, I couldn't tell by the outfit or the hair or the anime stuff, which, nothing wrong with that. But I think this girl might have an Asian fetish.
I just want to point out that while as a huge anime nerd, I support and love anime. And I don't care if I get any clout for saying this whatsoever. she is the type of anime fan that people think of when people say I watch anime though.
Oh yeah. I agree.
It was not a compliment. That was not a compliment at all.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, you're in public, sweetie. Do better.
Why is no one talking about the fact that this girl, she has an Asian fetish like I've never seen before? So that's her preference. I wonder if she will buzz the button if the guy she was talking to, once they take off their blindfolds, was black, Mexican, or white. Or would someone tweet, yo, this girl's racist? I wonder if that would cause such a disaster.
It's not like a deal breaker or anything.
What race do you think I am?
I have no idea. I don't want to make assumptions.
You want to take a guess?
I would say like maybe white to Asian, maybe.
I am Asian, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. Can we talk?
Sure.
You know she's screaming her pants right now. She's like, white, Asian, just my type. And then, the guy goes for the classic move, where's my hug at, just to feel her.
I would say like maybe white to Asian, maybe.
I am Asian, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. Can we talk?
Sure.
Okay. How are you?
Good. You're needing a hug.
You do.
Why, Nathan?
We get along on a lot of different topics, but I felt that it was something where I could become a really good friend with you.
Oh my god, dude, you will never text back. Let's just be honest. Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm screaming. I was screaming. That was hilarious. Like, that motherfucker didn't waste no damn time. He felt her big ass. He was like, nope. And look. Honestly, it's really genius though. Like, it is the smartest thing that you could possibly do on a blind date. It really is, right? And I was just like, so I ain't lie. When I first saw the video, I could not stop laughing. I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever fucking seen. Like, I'm like, this motherfucker smart as shit, yo. So I would have never thought to do that. You know what I mean? And here's the thing, right? Apparently, right? So this is like a series of blind dates. So apparently, he hugged each and every single one of the girls, though. Then he went on the blind date with. So
that makes sense.
So it was a couple of it was like 5 girls that were bigger, right? And each and every single one of them, he was just like, So I mean, I personally don't really care. And it doesn't make you fatphobic, right? Just because if you don't want a big girl, like you don't want a big girl. Like it is what it is. Like this is not fucking Love is Blind where you went up there to find a fucking partner. Okay, it's a blind date. You set it up. It's a YouTube show on top of that too. It's filmed and recorded. Who the fuck really cares, bro? Like who really cares? So if he doesn't like big girls, guess what? There are just many people who do like big girls, right? Who cares?
Yeah, man, I agree. That shit was funny though. He
could have at least waited. He didn't even wait though. He just as soon as he hugged her, he sat down. He was just like, you saw it too, because like I think that people knew, because I think at that point he had already done it a couple times. So like right after he hugged her, like the button just like lit up red. They was like, yep, we know what's coming next.
Yeah, honestly, if I was him, I would have kept talking because to me, he responded too quickly, and then his response that he gave back, it was obviously bullshit.
Of course,
I mean, I don't have a problem with what he did. I mean, it's.
I think it's
look, man, you like what you like, and that's not what he's trying to date. I mean, and on the same note, I mean, she's got her preference. She likes Asian dudes, so I mean, no one's giving her shit about liking Asian guys.
Yeah,
so I mean, if that's just the way the world. I'm sure there's Asian men that like bigger girls. I mean,
not a lot of them.
Yeah, I know that, but I was trying to help.
Like I'm just saying, like they're the one race of people that are the least forgiving when it comes to obesity. And men in men or women, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, they're very outspoken about that.
Yeah, they're very outspoken about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she deals with that all the time, which is really sad because I'm just like,
that's what it is, right? Some dudes feel like they deserve a model looking, woman, but they're 5'6" and make $40K a year. And guess what? They're probably not going to get that girl either. So it just is what it is, right?
Yeah, I mean that's true. You can live in your delusion. There's nothing wrong with that.
You want to, yeah.
It's just when you go on public platforms like Cut that's when you're gonna get the smoke.
Oh, absolutely. You're gonna get humbled very quickly. You're gonna get humbled.
Yeah, that's where the issue lies, because I saw another video. I think today it was this group of girls. I think they were like plus size Instagram models, whatever, and they were like leaving this club. They're trying to get into this club in LA, and they got denied access. Well, she said they were not allowed to get in. My theory is that the bouncer probably was trying to make them pay.
Yeah.
There was a whole video about like basically the video was pretty much insinuating that they were denied access because of their weight, which technically is true.
No, not denied access because of their weight. They were denied front of the line free access because of their weight. Absolutely.
When they made a whole big deal about it, and like the video I saw, it sounded like they had talked to the news people, because there was like, when you watch those special interest pieces, the news person's in the background, like kind of like narrating the situation. There's someone narrating, and I'm like, why is this making news? Everybody knows when you go to the club, the baddies get in for free. The average chicks may get in. And if you're below average, you're not getting you're paying what the guys pay. So when I was watching it, I was just like, what? This is normal activity. Like, unless you're a baddie, you're not getting in for free. And the funny part is, just like in that cut video, you never hear the baddies ever complaining about equality. They're never complaining.
Why was that? They're at the front of the line. If I'm getting a discount, I'm not. You think I'm finna give up? You know what? I just don't think that veterans should get the VA home loan. It's not fair to all of those people who didn't serve, who don't get the same 0% down home loan. The fuck?
Exactly. And my thing too is, and when it comes to like fatphobic and like the other situations, is those people don't really realize that, like, so like, let's say you have quote unquote pretty privilege, you also take on, there's also positives and negatives that come with that.
Absolutely. And I'm not gonna say who, right? But a friend of mine's girlfriend, who is like, she's very attractive. She's like drop dead gorgeous, right? You know what I mean? And she, like, and I remember there were certain things that she like would tell me, right? And we were cool or what? Well, we were cool. If you see this video, we're cool. we're good, right? But and I remember she would tell me stuff like about like how like dramatic it was, right? About guys like following her like to her house, showing up, that knew her from like her apartment complex, like knocking on her door, banging down the door, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And it was just like, I didn't know it was that bad though. You know what I mean? I really didn't think that it was that bad. And I think for me, I'm like, why are y'all doing this shit, bro? Like, I'm like, nigga, it's porn. There's prostitutes, there's OnlyFans. You know what I mean? Like, just you'd rather break the law than using all of these. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you right now. As far as incels go, there's never been a better time to be alive. I'm just saying. Like,
that's true. Yeah, the emergence of porn changed the game.
Alone. Fucking sex.
Excuse me, the emergence of porn and broadband.
Yeah. Fucking sex dolls. Like all of this stuff right now, and you would rather commit a crime and possibly go to jail and get butt fucked. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think like the women who are like, heavier, don't get me wrong, they get, catcalled and this and that. But like, if you're like a really pretty girl, like to your point, can you imagine being like worrying about your life on a day in and day out basis? Every guy you're talking to, you can't discern a good guy, a nice guy, and a bad guy at all. You can make better judgments, but everyone's trying to kiss your ass. The only guy that's not trying to kiss your ass is the bad boy, which is why you end up dating the bad boy. So like there are pros and cons to both. That's why, to me, when I heard like, I'm getting treated bad because I'm big and this and that, I'm like, over there on the other side, don't get me wrong, it is better to be healthier. It is better to look better.
Of course,
but people also ignore the things that they have to go through as well.
Yeah,
and I think that's just kind of like unfortunate because like they also dealing with problems too, man. Or like another example too is like when you have like pretty privilege, like let's say you like so like, let's say you're a girl right in high school, right? Most people, generally speaking, assume that prettier people are more intelligent, or they seem to give them that assumption they're more smart, they're smarter, right? So imagine you like go through college, go through high school, everyone's helping you out, and then at some point someone says, all right, go do the work, and no one's there to help you, and now you're struggling, you look stupid. Now what are you going to do to keep your job? I'll tell you, some of them lips. So, you know what I'm saying? Where like if you like an average looking or even a nice looking girl, you those people didn't give you that leeway, so you actually had to work hard for your stuff. So you're able to actually provide for yourself and take care of yourself without having to do sexual favors or do all the extra shit that like at the end of the day ain't nobody trying to do. So, you know, I just think there's pros and cons to both. Like I definitely like, you know, as a decent looking guy, I like my position where like I'm not ugly, I'm not overly attractive, I'm in a good sweet spot, and I'm smart. So like, you know, that's where you want to be. You don't want to be really, really ugly. You're trying to be really, really pretty.
It's sweet in the middle, yo. It's sweet in the middle, yo, for real. I'm good, Joe. I'm good.
Yeah, because like even like, you know, growing up, like the really guys that are really attractive, like in high school, and then like, you know, they were getting on the girls and the girls, right? And then once they got out of high school or they get older, and then, you know, you don't have that environment to just meet women, then they start to struggle and they never learn how to like talk to women. When they get into the real world, they're like, fuck, because they're like,
it was just always like super easy for them. Yeah. And then the rest of us, we had to like learn how to like get game and stuff like that and all of this. So by the time you like end up like 25 to like 35, you already kind of know what to do, you know.
That's why to me, the dudes that I always thought they had like the most game were always the average looking short dudes. Always. Because they always had to like that shit to them was like for me, like learning how to code. Like, I mean, that shit. I mean, just imagine you being short and being not an okay looking dude.
Yeah,
people are immediately just off putting you like, just get away from me. If you to be able to get past that, yo, you gotta be witty. You gotta be witty, man.
Yeah. I mean, like again, like that's how big thing I always do. Like I always tell guys, I'm like, there's so much stuff that you can do though. Even for like average guys, like I have like a friend of a friend, he's okay, and I'm just like so he got in the gym, he's like working out and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, cool, and like. You know, and then one of my buddies, right? You know, he is a good looking guy though. The other guy, he's a good looking guy though, right? He's tall, he works out, stuff like that, right? He's just not the best at opening. So like when we hang out, right? You know, I'll usually help him out a little bit. I'll open for him, and then he like seals the deal, and then we like, you know, get the fuck out of there or whatever, right? You know, and I don't mind, like I said before, right? And the biggest thing, but then I have another friend of a friend who just been working on. I don't think he's a bad looking guy. He just doesn't highlight his like attributes though. He never learned how to like highlight his attributes, right? And he's 30 now, like he's 28, 29, something like that. He might be And I just tell him like, and even when we were talking, I'm like, dude, like use whatever you have at your disposal, right? If you are super into like, you know, your like job or something like that, and your job's cool, use that, right? If you're funny, use your, you know, humor, right? If you're charismatic, use your charisma. Whatever you got, use it to the best of your ability, right? Because you have to use that, because if you don't, then if you're pretending to be something that you're not, she's going to find out eventually. You know what I mean? So whatever you got, use it. I said like, and I stand by this statement. I don't care how ugly you are, right? Or how, well, let me take that back.
In general.
Okay, all right, let me take that back. The average guy, right? Like the average guy, like if he's a 6, right? I feel like if he's a 5, we'll say if he's a 5, right? I can get him to a 7 just based off of, you know, just him dressing himself up, right? Like a haircut, decent clothes, right? Couple of little, you know, earrings, something, you know, whatever, right? Like I can get him there. I'm telling you right now, like you have to present yourself a certain type of way. And you shouldn't just do it just to get a girl. You should walk around like that as much as you can anyways.
No, that's facts. That's something I know that I don't do a very good job of. And I notice when I like So I notice when I do dress up or wear like just jewelry that accentuates like my style. So like let's say I put on a nice watch, or maybe like a little bracelet joint thing, or like put on like a nice collared shirt. Like so when I would transition go to work, I could tell people's energy to me was completely different than if I'm like dressed how I am now, like wearing like just like a sweater or some shit and putting on some like regular shoes, right? It's just people's energy is completely different with you and you feel more confident in yourself. So like for example, like I noticed like let's say you dress up, right? You're probably more likely to like stand, like have your posture better. So you're more in that peacock kind of position.
Yeah.
And people feel that energy. So a lot of it too is like to your point, like getting that person to that position better usually is more is it gives them tangible benefits. Like so like let's say you dress better, right? And start brushing your hair and doing that shit, right? And let's say he's doing that to like get a better job. Those attributes are gonna go over into like your relationships with men, women, whoever, right? So you'll automatically get the benefits without having to like be hyper focused on like I gotta get a girl, I gotta get a girl. Because to me, that approach is the worst approach. Don't do it for that. Do it for like yourself and like let's say like to increase your income. Because then that way it's just more natural. And then by you repeating that habit,
and you can
it'll just come to you because it'll just be like you'll just be in a better place mentally when you talk to people.
Yeah, and you can maintain it too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but like to your point, if you don't like have anything like positive going in your life, and you just try to like you say like, and it's even like little shit like because like one of the things I used to hate growing up was like watching movies and stuff. It always like oh I gotta go pick up a girl in a club or I gotta go like dance and all this extra shit. And in the real world, it's just more like maybe you see somebody in the grocery store, you see somebody like at the gym or like just walking down the street. Like it's more natural like that. And like I said, like if you dressing better and you go into Walgreens, just people's energy like is just different. Like people will talk to you when you dress nice. Especially if you like, and I'd even make the argument like let's say you're a black man and you dressing nice. I feel like you elevate higher because you ain't sagging your pants. So like people like they just want to interact with you. Like I noticed that like when I dress up, like people actually speak to me. I speak to them. It's nuts how different it is.
People talk to me all the time. Like it's like not even funny. I'm not even talking about like on like flirting type stuff. I just mean like people in general talk to me like all the time just because of like, and I know it's because of like how I dress and how I present myself. I'm 100% that is what it is. Like even like I remember one of my buddies, right? He's such a dick for this too, right? He's like, oh, he's like, my buddy's grandparents are in town. We're like, at the restaurant, like, you just come by. And I was like, all right, I can't stay too long though, right? He was all right, cool. So we go, whatever, right? They're older white people, right? You know what I mean? I was like, hey, doing them shy, shaking hands, whatever, right? And I didn't really. I mean, they were like kind of staring a little bit, but I'm like, all right, whatever, like big black guy, I don't know, like whatever, right? But I'm dressing like the way I like usually dress though, right? Yeah. I always, like try my best to like look presentable, right? It's really like get to talking and everything. And at first they were kind of quiet, but his wife started talking to me first. And then we started talking. I was talking about my wife and then my kids and everything like that. And then he started like kind of chiming in, oh yeah, you gotta do this, blah, blah. We had a great conversation. Ironically, after that, me and my buddy, we were at work and we were talking. He was like, yeah, like his grandparents have never talked to a black person before. Like, and I was like, what the fuck? I said, why wouldn't you? Like, you know what I mean? He was like, oh, well, you know what I mean? Like, you're cool, right? I was like, dude, that's a huge culture shock. Like, my big black fucking dreadlock, you know what I mean? Earring, like, having that, like, you know what I mean? Like, having that. He was like, no, but they loved you. He was just like, honestly, you were like the best like representation, right? You know what I mean? Because yeah, you physically are very black. Nobody's ever gonna like argue with that. He's like, but yeah, you're also very, charismatic, you're personable. So I was like, oh, okay, because I really didn't know that they had an issue. Not had an issue, almost had an issue. They just weren't really exposed to that. And you wouldn't really be able to tell, like, based on the way that they were interacting with me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, it matters. And, like, I'm glad, like, you're a perfect example of that. Like, yeah, when I watch these videos, people talking about, like, how to do this, how to do that, I'm like, yo, to me, the number one thing you can do is get your dress game, and it ain't got to be expensive shit. It's just picking the right colors, the right type of shirts, the right type of pants, the right shoes. It's just like it ain't got to be expensive, but you need to stand out
Yes.
And in today's world, it's not hard to stand out because people like just like shit.
They really, really do. Yeah,
like a lot. Like, and it's not hard to stand out. And it's just like if you do that, it will literally change your life. Just for me, like when I dress up, I feel like I'm fucking Superman.
Yeah,
it sounds crazy, but you literally feel different about yourself. Because it's like, for example, like if you go into Walmart wearing like some like pajamas and shit, do you honestly feel confident talking to a woman?
Nope.
And if you do, like, should you? But if you dress like in a nice collared shirt and some pants, you feel like you can talk to anybody because you've presented yourself at a higher level. So typically you're talking, I hate to say this, like down to someone else. But if I'm in pajamas and they're like this, I'm, that's just how you feel. It's just awkward. You're like, yeah, I smell like shit. And she knows it.
There we go. But yeah, this was another great reaction video though. We're gonna keep them rolling at least once a week. You know what I mean? Maybe even 2, possibly a week, and just keep the train rolling. And I was very serious what I said about those Trump videos because we know they're coming. The last election when he was in it was fucking hilarious. So I know there's gonna be some good content. You got anything else, Cole?
Ask China.
That shit was so
Are you talking to me? Is it because Ask China?
That shit was the funniest shit ever. I said, this motherfucker is so ignorant, bro.
Freaking comedian.
Yeah, he is. He's hilarious. Yeah, for all the wrong reasons. Yeah. But this is Common Sense, and we are out. Peace. Yeah.